The more I've learned of Sun Ra, the more I realize he and I are like brothers or something.
This is a deeper listen from listener-powered KEXP, a show where we talk with musicians about the thoughts and the experiences that shape their music. I'm Roddy Nickpour, glad to be with you as we take a cosmic journey today with Sun Ra and this new cover album from Kronos Quartet. Now, Sun Ra, throughout the 20th century, was an American jazz pianist who was blazing a new trail, and that trail went deep into the cosmos.
Love for everybody, sunrise in outer space, love for every face.
He not only founded new ways to actually play the piano, but also new ways to perform music in a very theatrical way. And he's arguably most famous for leading an ever-changing ensemble called the Arkestra. And even to this very day, decades after Sun Ra's passing, the Arkestra is still going strong.
Angels, demons,
Meanwhile, on a parallel track on the opposite coast, the Kronos Quartet, founded in Seattle and currently based in San Francisco, has been defining the sound of modern classical music for half a century, not just with their own original compositions, but also through collaborations. So these worlds of Kronos Quartet and Sun Ra collided in 2024 with the album Outer Spaceways Incorporated, released by Red Hot Records. The Kronos Quartet reimagines the music of Sun Ra, featuring covers and collaborations with artists like Jlin, Laraaji, Armand Hammer, and others. KEXP's Larry Mizell Jr. brings us testimonials from some of those collaborators, and he spoke with one of the Kronos Quartet's founding members, David Harrington.
The Kronos Quartet, San Francisco's stalwart string ensemble, has been a prolific force in contemporary classical music for 50 years, when it was founded by violinist David Harrington in Seattle, Washington, tackling an incredibly diverse range of sounds while commissioning new works from some of the most celebrated composers of our time. Their latest release was commissioned by the good folks at the Red Hot Organization, a nonprofit that's released over 24 albums and compilations dedicated to the fight against HIV and AIDS. The album is now Red Hot's fourth release in a series investigating and extrapolating the glorious works of the Sun Ra Arkestra. It features a brilliant slate of guests and fellow travelers, one being the luminous New Age pioneer, Laraaji.
Hi, this is Laraaji, and reporting in on my work with Sun Ra track, which I joyfully remixed. The title of the track is Daddy Ain't Gonna Tell No Lie. I was impressed to discover this doo-wop track belonging to the Sun Ra legacy. And when I discovered it, I said, yeah, let me lay some ambient energy on this one. And I had a wonderful, peaceful time doing that. My familiarity with Sun Ra goes back to the 80s while I was living in Park Slope, or near Park Slope. I attended a Sun Ra evening concert in a small, almost storefront performance space on Bergen Street in Park Slope. First time I experienced Sun Ra and his orchestra, I was impressed with the radiant, resplendent wardrobes that the musicians wore. And the music, the energy of the music, the style, character of the music did a roto-rooter job on my perception of jazz music, of music in general. It loosened me up. The second time I saw Sun Ra was at the Bottom Line in Village, New York City, somewhere in the 90s or before or afterwards. And he touched me as just his presence. I ain't gonna tell no lie. I did have fun working on Daddy Ain't Gonna Tell No Lie. And it's a track that I feel I can listen to, put on continual repeat, and it just takes me back to my doo-wop years. And so like doo-wop meets ambient. There you go, Laraaji, peace.
Another is the righteous, soulful dynamo that is Georgia Anne Muldrow.
What I love about Sunrise versions of Outer Spaceways Incorporated is the whimsical offer to put in work somewhere else than planet Earth. You can put in work somewhere else, a place of unseen substances and things of that nature.
If you find her boy, just the same old same thing, come on and sign up for Outer Spaceways Incorporated. If you find her boy, just the same old same thing.
That gives us a whole lot to go off of in a time where we are needing to divest from the things that hurt us and mean us great harm. I believe that Sunrise legacy is just this, a joyful approach to divestment from the way things are and from the real world, because the real world is broken. And he had a sense of that very early. And so what I like about his legacy and this song is the active working, right, of an investment into our supernature, our super nation, and all of those beautiful things. Thank you so much for having me on your show. This is KEXP, and my name is Georgia Anne Muldrow.
If you find her boring, just the same shape thing, come on, sign up with Outer Spaceways Incorporated.
And then there's the Arkestra's longtime leader, the legend, Marshall Allen, who himself recently dropped his debut solo album at 100 years of age.
Sun Ra was a rarity in my life because he was a genius in what he does. And I didn't know anything about that. So I had to learn what he was doing to transfer it to me. So it took some time because I didn't have too much discipline. See? I had to turn my thing around, play the music, and find out if the music would change. And if it's music for me, well-being, I can give some to the people when I play. So I had to find that out because I was one-sided. I was on the I know side. So I had to bring out the I don't know side. You see? Which is the vibrations of the day. Once you get some discipline, you feel good about doing something of worth. You know, and doing something about the spirit and things like that. You feel nice, you know, and when you listen to it, you can feel what you feel when you do it, you know. I send all my love to KEXP.
I was lucky to get to talk to Kronos Quartet founder David Harrington about the record, about the greatness and legacy of Sun Ra and his orchestra, and the future of the Kronos Quartet. David, thanks again for being willing to talk to me about this excellent record.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I find it really ambitious and beautiful, and I just love that Red Hot has been honoring Sun Ra so intently. This is the 4th album honoring Sun Ra?
I think that's right. 4 for a quartet, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess so. That's very fitting. I'm curious, do you feel like with the orchestra, they're kind of, it's your fellow travelers? Kronos Quartet having been going for 50 years at this point, yeah?
Yes.
Do you relate to their communal ethic that they established?
I love everything I know about the way Sun Ra and his group put their music together, the all-night rehearsals, the spontaneous, hey, I have an idea, let's get together and practice, to me, it's very cool and really inspiring. And when Red Hot mentioned that there would be access to the original recordings, I just thought, this is so wonderful for composers from a wide range of the world of Kronos. We might be able to make something beautiful, fun, something like we've never done before, and maybe we'll find some new territory. And I think we have, and the sky's the limit.
Absolutely. I feel like it's very much in key with the spirit of the Sun Ra recordings as I've known them. And I really, really enjoyed this record. Getting access to those original recordings, what has that process been of working with those?
What I was able to do was, for example, I could say to someone like Terry Riley, who has been a Sun Ra fan for years and years, Terry, there's access to whatever you want from Sun Ra recordings. And he said, well, I've wanted to include Sun Ra's nuclear war in my work ever since I first heard it. Those were Terry's exact words to me.
Hydrogen bomb, atomic bomb, SOS, goodbye.
So he and his student, Sara Miyamoto, put together Kiss Your Ass Goodbye. Our cellist, Paul Wianco, realized the Kronos parts that Terry had improvised, and we went into the studio and made the recording, and we've been playing it in concert. It's great. That's one example. Basically, each of the tracks has a different story of how it arrived at what it is.
Interesting. I think it's a really wonderful closer to the record. It being one of the, better known Sun Ra tracks. I mean, Terry Riley, what a legend. And that's just a brilliant collaboration between you guys, Terry Riley, and these original recordings. I've heard that particular track remixed in all sorts of different ways, but this really breathed some new life, some solar winds into it. I really appreciate it. Speaking of the incredible guest list on this record, it really spoke to some brilliant curation. I'm just wondering how you kind of assembled the likes of, or even thought to assemble the likes of, Terry Riley and Laurie Anderson, Laraaji, got RP Boo, 700 Bliss, Armand Hammer.
Blood running high, gas running low. Asking for the why. If you know, you know. If you don't, say so anyway. In between the notes, just don't be in the way. Blood running high, gas running low. Asking for the why. If you know, you know. If you don't, say so anyway. In between the notes, just don't be in the way.
I mean, it's the span is considerable and thoughtful.
We did it one collaborator at a time. The curation was a real collaboration. Red Hot and their team introduced me to a lot of people that I should have known about, but I didn't. That's the thing about music. It's so vast that you can only know a little part of it, and you need your friends to help you point you in new directions. And as soon as I heard the work and got into the thinking about how to make this panoramic portrait of the kind of intergalactic world, let's say, of Sun Ra, they seem to be perfectly in line with what I was thinking. And of course, part of this for me was thinking about my friend Hal Wilner. What would Hal have done? And I spoke to Laurie Anderson about that a lot, actually. So I wanted this to be something that Hal would smile if he were able to hear and smile at it.
And this is a record that definitely put a smile on my face. All of these collaborations make so much sense. This volume of tribute to Sun Ra. How was it working with Mr. Marshall Allen?
That was a high point for me. I was not in the studio. I was there virtually. And so I got to hear the entire session that he and Laurie Anderson put together. And what a beautiful experience that was, and what Steve Bernstein did. It's kind of like everyone that participated in this lifted themselves up. Mm-hmm. And I think we were all lifted up by Marshall Allen and his great experience and continuing virtuosity that is thrilling to witness and be a part of.
There's this incredible vitality that, to me, is the earmark of the Arkestra. I saw them at a festival in England, and you had Noel Scott doing cartwheels. It was just such beautiful music, and of course, the motifs are cosmic. They feel like they push the boundaries of space and time, and also harken back to classic forms, because they've been going since the big band era, and they've kept that alive in the music. And through this cosmic motif, I absolutely adore that aspect of that. Is there an inspiration in that vitality and that endurance of this band and of Sun Ra's influence that speaks to you and how you move with your group?
Definitely. Like I said, so much of what happens in the performance of music happens out of earshot, out of sight of an audience. So much of it happens in the rehearsals. And, my knowledge of Sun Ra's rehearsals over many, many years and the continuing involvement of the orchestra and putting music together as this communal human experience, and you just try to give everything you have to make the music better than it was yesterday. You get a group that's been doing this for so many years and through a lot of changes of personnel, but the thing that stays is this focus on the music and the inspiration of Sun Ra and the breadth of knowledge and experimentation and what can be music. I think Sun Ra asks that question every day, and for me that's what connects me with Sun Ra, because the more I've learned of Sun Ra, the more I realize he and I are like brothers or something, because the question I'm asking and have been asking all these years is, what's next? What can music be that it hasn't been so far? How might I become a better musician? How might I learn more about the world through music, with music, because of music? Just feeling so fortunate to be a part of this big community and to feel now like Sun Ra and the orchestra are part of our community. For me, Red Hot has done us this incredible gift to our composers and to Kronos, and I'm so grateful and proud.
Just one more question. I know that this record comes at a pivotal time for the quartet. You've got some members phasing out and some phasing in. How is it creating in this kind of space? And I know you've been there before when collaborators are stepping back and new ones are stepping in, and you're kind of getting in tune with them. And I'm curious also if you look at the example of the Arkestra and see a collective that has persisted and pushed these notions forward even past the life of its founder. And if you think about the quartet that way.
I definitely think about Kronos that way. And it's interesting. We're bringing at least 3 of the tracks from the album into some of our very first concerts with our new members, Gabriela Diaz and Ayane Kozasa. It's going to be so much fun playing with them and playing Sun Ra's music live for our audience. I can't wait.
David, thank you so much for spending a little time with me and talking to me about this beautiful record, and thanks for grading it.
My pleasure.
That was my interview with David Harrington of the Kronos Quartet about Outer Spaceways Incorporated, the 2024 album of collaborations and covers of songs by the Sun Ra Arkestra. Thank you to Marshall Allen, to Georgia Anne Muldrow, and Laraaji for their contributions as well.
And that was A Deeper Listen. Probably one of the deepest listens we've ever had on A Deeper Listen. So thanks for being here. If that blew your mind, took you to another place, let other travelers know in the reviews, wherever you're hearing this podcast, and share it with a friend. Take them to a new world with A Deeper Listen. We say this every week, but it means more and more as time goes on. Thank you to the people who donate to KEXP, making shows like this possible, whether it's a one-time gift of $20 or maybe a recurring amplifier gift of $6 a month. You are making a difference. You are bringing music to listeners on KEXP, bringing us conversations like this on A Deeper Listen, and ultimately just bringing the world closer through sharing great music. So thank you. Thanks also to Larry Mizell Jr. for leading this conversation, and William Myers for mastering. I'm Roddy Nickpour, and thank you again for taking a deeper listen.